If we want sound government that balances the extremes, governs from the center, provides efficient and effective policies for all the citizens of our great state, we must end the addiction of gerrymandering.
North Carolina citizens packed a committee room at the state legislature on Monday to call for fair voting maps and fair elections.
When politicians sit down and redraw our electoral voting maps to ensure that they stay in power, it is wrong.
I think that this is the worst thing that could possibly be done to you other than taking your life away from you, is taking your vote away from you.
And this is seriously messed up.
House Bill 200 and Senate Bill 209 would end gerrymandering in North Carolina by taking redistricting power away from partisan legislators and giving it to an independent body.
I want to thank the co-sponsors of both House Bill 200 and Senate Bill 209. Your belief in democracy of the people, by the people, and for the people is heartening.
But I do support the intent of House Bill 200 and Senate Bill 209.
But while the proposals have overwhelming support among citizens, legislative leaders have refused to give the bills a vote or even a hearing.
And I think it's cowardly of the North Carolina General Assembly not to let this bill out to be voted for.
And so these citizens took matters into their own hands, convening a people's hearing on House Bill 200 and Senate Bill 209.
People in my generation and college kids and high schoolers, they don't believe in government anymore because they think it's a joke, because they think that it doesn't matter and that they don't count. And I think that's horrible. And I think that they need to bring back accountability to government.
Some 150 North Carolinians from across the state, from the mountains to the sea, filled the legislative committee room to call on lawmakers to enact nonpartisan redistricting reform.
Denying a vote on independent redistricting means the elected officials in charge are worried about the effects of fair maps on the next election. Fair maps create competitive campaigns. So if they're worried about that, then we should be worried about democracy.
If somehow Tim Moore and Phil Berger were watching through one of these cameras right now and listening to me, I would try to make this argument to them by continuing to support a system that, the choir here knows is just indefensible. You delegitimize every possible law that you would pass. This is Barry Bonds in the records books of the baseball with an asterisk beside his home run record.
By coincidence, the people's hearing on fair redistricting came the same day that the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed a lower court ruling that found North Carolina lawmakers had unconstitutionally gerrymandered dozens of legislative districts along racial lines. It was yet another ruling, the third in just 2 weeks from the High Court against North Carolina's gerrymandering.
I heard a quote by one of our legislative leaders saying this was very frustrating that courts keep changing what they want. And I have a very simple solution for that. Have somebody other than politicians set up these districts, and then our votes will count.
For the North Carolinians who gathered at the people's hearing, it's about protecting our state's democracy and simply giving voters a voice in our elections.
Partisan districting is a pernicious influence on our state. It causes both parties to be influenced by their extremes, and as a result, those of us in the center are not being heard.
What I would like to see is that everybody, Republican, Independent, or Democrat, feel like their vote counts. That doesn't happen right now.
Add your voice to the call for fair voting maps and fair elections in North Carolina. Visit endgerrymanderingnow.org.